Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 628th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just to say, I'm just getting over COVID, so my voice is a bit croaky, so I hope it doesn't spoil the commentary too much for you. And just to say, this is a custom map that we've never played on before. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Uther. Now, Uther's got 13 infantry, 6 cavalry, and a peasant unit. Okay, 13 infantry, 6 cavalry, and a peasant unit. And just to have a look at that, that peasant unit. Now, what he does with his peasant unit, he incorporates his peasant unit into his pile shield units in front of his main battle formation. And, you know, if the peasant unit will hold its ground, it'll soak up pilers as good as any other expensive unit. So I think that's a good move by Uther, putting that unit in amongst his pile shield units there. You know, so this cheap unit can soak up the other player's expensive pilers. And here we look at the upgrades on his cavalry. You'll see he's got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's an interesting army of Uther's there. Should be interesting to see how well he does during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Earth. Now, Earth has got 8 infantry, 6 archers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, 8 infantry, 6 archers, and 6 cavalry. Very, very small amount of infantry for the modern day battlefield, and he's only got gold shield, gold attack on his infantry. Okay, usually with a small amount of infantry you'd expect to see really good upgrades, but he just put gold shield, gold attack on, which tells me that he spent his money on, on his cavalry. There you go, you can see he's got fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now we know that cavalry does well with just gold shield, gold attack. You put 3 experience stripes on it and it kind of makes it super cavalry there. So that's an interesting army build there, but will those fully upgraded cavalry and those 6 archers make up for just 8 infantry? I guess we'll see as the battle unfolds. Be interesting to see how well that army does. Okay, our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got his very old Carthage army of 15 Sacred Band spearmen, 2 Balearic slingers, and 3 cavalry. And you'll see that I've got Sacred Band cavalry, but as I said before in other battle videos we've looked at, I've only got gold attack on them. They're not meant to take on enemy head on. These are, as I said before, my sniper units that I take behind enemy lines to crash into enemy archers or smash into the back of tired engaged enemy troops. So as I say, they're not upgraded for head on fighting. So there's my Carthage army. Be interesting to see how well that does. And our last teammate is Brotherhood member Spearman. Now Spearman has got 10 infantry, 4 archers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, 10 infantry, 4 archers, and 6 cavalry. It'd be interesting to see what upgrades he's got on his cavalry there. Quick look, usually brings serious cavalry, and there you already got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So that'll be interesting to see. And as I say, this map was hosted by Brotherhood member Aurelius, and it's the first time we've ever played on this map. And I remember him thinking this was a flat map, but if you notice it looks to me like we've got a slight advantage here. If you look at the ground here, so as I say, it's the first time we've ever played on this map, and as I say, we've got a bit of an advantage here. We'll have to see if we can make the most of it. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Aurelius, the host of this game. Now Aurelius has got 14 spearmen. 12 of those are Spartans, and 2 of them are armoured hoplites. He's got 5 archers and 1 armoured cavalry general. There you can see he's got his 2 armoured hoplite units in front of his main Spartan battle formation there. That'll be the pile shield there. Let's say there you can see he's got his 12 Spartan units there, and I think he's got slingers and archers if I'm not mistaken. There you go, you can see he's got Rhodian slingers there, 2 units of Rhodian slingers, and he's got 2 units of the short range archers. And unusually you can see he's got an armoured cavalry general as his general unit there. Unusual to see Greek city's general there as a cavalry unit, so it'd be interesting to see how well he can use that. He's only got 6 upgrades on gold shield, gold attack, but I think of course the unit has got 2 hit points. So it's an interesting Spartan army there. And if you notice here, can you see how low down he is in comparison to our team? So I bet he's regretting hosting on this map, because he's given our team such a such an advantage in a way. We just have to see what happens during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member JGP. Now JGP has got 12 infantry, 2 archers and 6 cavalry. Okay, 12 infantry, 2 archers and 6 cavalry. A quick look at the upgrades on his infantry there. He usually brings quite a mix there. He's got gold shield, gold attack on that particular unit, and other units he's got 7 upgrades and experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. So he's certainly got mixed upgrades within his infantry. So I'm thinking his cavalry probably are only, just gold shield, gold attack, as he spent most of his money on his infantry there. So I think that's an interesting army build there. Be interesting to see how well JGP does during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Man 2. Now Man 2 has got 8 infantry, 6 archers and 6 cavalry. So only 8 infantry. Now, would you consider that to be enough for the modern day battlefield? And he's only got gold shield, gold attack on his infantry, which tells us something about, I think, where he spent his money. And I'm thinking we're going to look at where he spent his money, and there you go, fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And as we said earlier, that those 3 experience stripe turns this elite cavalry into super cavalry there. But only 8 infantry. There's 6 maximum upgraded cavalry going to make up for just 8 infantry. Well, I guess we'll just have to see as the battle unfolds. An interesting army build there. And their last teammate is RTW player Lotus. Now Lotus has got 12 infantry, 2 peasants and 6 cavalry. Okay, 12 infantry, 2 peasants, 6 cavalry. He's got mixed upgrades, I believe. You see he's got gold shield, gold attack on his forward units of his battle formation. And as you go back further, you'll see he's got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his infantry at the back of the battle formation there. And as I say, he's got 2 peasant units, which I'm guessing he's going to use as incorporated into pilot shield units at the front of his battle formation. And I guess his cavalry is probably just going to be, just gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So there's the enemy team there. As I say, if you look at the map, they seem to be lower than us, but we'll just have to see. At this stage of the battle, I just thought we'd have a look at Uther's formation. Now, remember we saw he got that peasant unit, and he usually incorporates it into his pilot shield unit. And there you go. You can see there, he's got his 4 urban cohort pilot shield units there. And then if you look, you'll see that he's got his peasant unit right in the centre, which further on in the battle, my guess is he'll bring that peasant unit so it just sticks out a little bit in front of those urban cohort units, so it attracts all the enemy pilot fire onto that peasant unit. I've seen Uther do that before. So as I say, why let your expensive units soak up enemy pilots when you can use a peasant unit, and if you just stick the nose out of that peasant unit, it'll soak up all the enemy pilots, and your urban cohort pilot shield units won't suffer that much damage. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, you'll see Earth is stretching his archers out here on our right flank. Can you see how he's deploying his archers out here to the right here to target the enemy archers? But if you notice here, Aurelius has spotted this and is moving his fast-moving general armoured cavalry unit out towards Earth's archers there. Now, whether Earth's going to spot that or not and either retreat his archers or get cavalry over there, we just have to see. But I see he's moved his archers actually forward there. And you can see that Greek city's armoured cavalry general unit of Aurelius is closing in on Earth's archers there. Get ready for this. It's going to be a big bang as it smashes in there. Oh my gosh, there's a good chance he could rout that archer unit. You can see Earth bringing his cavalry over now, so my guess is Aurelius now will pull that unit back. It's done what it wanted to. It's routed one of Earth's archer units there. Yeah, the armoured cavalry general suffered a few casualties there from missile damage, but that was a nice surgical strike there by Aurelius there with that fast-moving armoured cavalry general. That was what was quite a good move there. So say here you can see Earth moving his army, his archers and infantry and his cavalry over here on this right flank. Okay, now here you can see my Carthaginian sniper units, what we talked about before. Okay, what I'd like to do is get behind the enemy troops if I can. What I'm going to do is take them over into those trees, probably hide them in the trees, and try and get further slowly behind the enemy troops and hope that they don't notice me. Meanwhile here, I remember in this course of this battle, I was seeing that Spearman was coming from the other flank here to join us. And I noticed his cavalry was running, but I noticed that his infantry were just walking like they were out for a Sunday stroll. I was expecting to see them with their brisk walking stick, just walking out for a nice Sunday afternoon stroll there. And I was thinking if the enemy moved fast enough, they might be able to get archers or maybe even infantry or something over to maybe attack his flank. It's just funny at the time. Okay, at this stage of the battle, once again I'd like to give you a heads up on why I've bought this Carthaginian army. The reason I bought this Carthaginian army is because I'm shadowing the enemy Greek city's army. So my job in the team here is to shadow the Greek city's army with a view to engage it and try and neutralise it if I can with my Carthage army. So that's why I've got that army. Over here on the right flank, I'd just like to show you here, as I say, I've got my cavalry hidden in the woods there. If you notice, can you see Earth has got the same idea as me? He's moving his cavalry over, and my guess is he'd like to get in behind the enemy troops as well. And then we would, kind of smash our cavalry in when we think it's the right time to do it. So we could just move from the trees over there to here, hide in those trees, and then eventually maybe get over here and hope that the enemy might not notice that we're there, and then during the course of the battle at the right time hopefully bring our cavalry in and smash into the rear of the enemy troops when they're least expecting it. But as I say, as you can see here by the map, we are on the higher part of this map. And as I say, I bet Aurelius, when he looks up at our troops, is probably thinking, oh, I wish I had checked this map out before I hosted on it, because it does give us the advantage. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, you can see Aurelius using that fast-moving armoured cavalry general against our archers and looking to head up towards my slingers there. And bang, as that cavalry unit goes into that archer unit there. Let's say he's using that unit real. Did you see that to general unit just glow then? Just got a battlefield promotion. Bang, as he charged into my one of my Carthaginian slinger units there. Really using that fast-moving cavalry unit very effectively there. Pulled back out, look, charge back in. Yours going to pull back out. I bet he charges back in again, getting that charge bonus again there. So you bet he's pulled back. And as I say, it wouldn't surprise me there. Yours going to charge back in, look, and bang. Remember, every time you charge back in, you get that cavalry charge bonus. And that's what he's just done there, charged into one of my slinger units again. He has suffered some casualties. That unit has suffered some casualties, but remember, there was only gold shield, gold attack upgrades on that unit. But he has been a nuisance with that unit and has used it very effectively. Now here you can see Uther's move forward there. If you notice, his peasant unit has been routed. And if you notice, Lotus has brought his own peasant unit forward there and an urban cohort unit to try and counter that peasant unit of Uther's, which, as you can see, as I say, has been routed here. Now if you notice here, at this stage of the battle, can you see that Earth is moving his infantry over to the right here? Okay, so remember that Earth is on our right flank, okay, and he's moving his army over to the right even further. Now, there's a chance here that he could create a gap between him and Uther that the enemy troops could move up and exploit. Okay, now remember that my Carthaginian army here is to counter the Greek city Spartan army. Okay, it's not geared up really to fight Romans. I don't want to get bogged down fighting Romans. It's the Greek cities that I'm after. So by Earth moving over to that right flank, he certainly is opening a little gap in our battle line there, possibly, that the enemy could exploit. Now look how far further he's moved over to that right flank there. Okay, that's quite a long way he's now moved away from Uther's Julii army there. And look how the SPQR units of JGP are now moving up this slope here. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens on this flank, I think, in this position. Now you can see that Earth's moving his army even further back there, even further away from his allies. Just pause the game for a second here. So, as I say there, you can see Earth pulling away. Now look at the gap between our troops, Uther's and mine, and Earth's. Look at that massive gap between us there, that, as I say, JGP could possibly exploit by moving up this hill with his infantry and cavalry. The only thing we've got there is my couple of slingers shooting as fast as they can into those SBQR infantry, but that's a massive gap there that, as I say, the enemy could exploit. Now, over here in the trees, remember what we looked at earlier, you can see that Earth has got his 6 maximum upgraded cavalry hiding in the trees there. Now what he may well be doing there is trying to encourage the enemy to attack him on this flank so that he could smash into the rear of them with that fully upgraded cavalry. That might be something we might be looking at there, but he's on the lower part of the ground now. Look, if you notice here, the enemy would have higher ground there to come down onto him if they attack. But that's what I think he's trying to do there. He's got his cavalry hiding in the woods there, ready to charge into the rear of the enemy troops if they engage him there. Okay. But back over here, you'll see Uther's moved his Juliite army forward there towards a combined enemy force of enemy Brutii infantry and, of course, those Greek city units as well. So that's there's a kind of a double army there. And you can see them steadily moving forward into Uther's units. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Uther put some of his forward units into Testudo, okay, which is the common Roman defence against pike or spear attack. And there you are, you can see he's put some of his units into Testudo, ready to receive that Greek city attack. All right, let's pause the game for a second here. Okay, so here, as I say, with Earth moving all the way over to the right flank, you can see now that JGP is moving his SBQR army into the gap there between Earth and Uther. You could get his cavalry and infantry there into our flank if we're not careful. Okay, over on our left flank you got Spearman here. Now whether he is going to go around the left there, okay, he could go down and round to the left and hit the enemy in the left flank. Maybe that's something that he may well do. Or he may well take some of his units over to that right flank to try and protect us from the movement of the SBQR infantry. Okay, but meanwhile here in the centre you'll see Uther is receiving an attack from a combined enemy force of Brutii infantry and Spartans. Here you can see Uther throwing his pilers into those advancing enemy troops, cause them a lot of damage there. But remember, because Spartans got those 2 hit points and excellent specifications, they suffer less damage from pilers than other units in the game. Okay, if you notice here, I've moved my Carthaginian army forward here with a view to charge into those advancing Spartans to take the pressure off of Uther's army. I don't want to take on those Brutii Roman infantry. As I say, I'm not really geared up to fight Rome here, but that's what I'm going to do anyway. And if you notice, the enemy Brutii infantry are in front of the Spartans there, so I'm going to have to fight through that Brutii infantry to get to those Spartans there. Can you see? My infantry there is going to have to fight through there to get to those Spartans. So, as I say, not only am I going to be taking on the Spartans, I'm taking on that Brutii infantry as well. Now, whether Uther will pull his infantry back, I don't know. But here you can see Earth looking like he's going to try and move his troops a bit up here onto maybe higher ground to counter that SBQR movement there. But as I say, at the moment, JGP could get his SBQR infantry round our flank. Okay, now at the rear here, as you said earlier, there's Earth's fully upgraded Scipii cavalry, ready to be brought into the fray when he's ready. But if you notice that, JGP spotted them and has turned his own cavalry to face Earth's cavalry there. So there's going to be no surprise attack here, because JGP spotted that danger already. But here in the centre, this could be the make or break of the battle here. You can see my Carthaginians in that wide old-fashioned battle formation moving down towards the enemy Spartans there, but taking on the enemy Brutii infantry as well. Now I'm wondering here whether Uther might bring his Juliite infantry back up from the fray and put a few units on the right flank there to stop JGP flanking us. That could be something that he might well do there, and leave my Carthaginians to take on the Spartans and the Brutii troops there. Okay, so as I say here, you can see I think that's what Uther's doing. He's moving some of his units over to that right flank. You'll see that Spearman has moved some of his units over there as well. Let's pause the game for a second. So there you can see Earth now. He may well look to get his troops onto a higher bit of the ground and then charge down into JGP's units. That may be something that he's thinking of doing. But Spearman has brought some of his units over from the left flank over to this right flanklet to try and counter JGP's SPQR troops coming in behind us there. Okay, so it's a nice bit of support there by Spearman, and some of Uther's units are involved in there as well. As I say, you can see my Carthaginians really pushing forward into that enemy Brutii infantry and those Spartans. And over here you'll see that Earth has got his archers here shooting into the flank of enemy troops. So nice positioning of his archers there. He always positioned his archers well, and you can see a good tactical move there with his archers shooting into the enemy flank there. Okay, but maybe the center here is going to be the make or break of the battle. You'll notice that there's a big lot of enemy SPQR infantry in behind those Spartans as well. Well, I got no chance of taking them on. You can see that SPQR cavalry bang as it charges into the rear of one of Uther's engaged Julii units. But as I say here, you can see my Carthaginians really trying to push into those Spartans there. And as I say, that Lotus has got his SPQR infantry throwing pilers into my units there, just behind the Spartans. So there's a lot going on in the centre here. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So here now, Earth is attacked. Remember, he was over there. He's now attacked with his cavalry, his fully upgraded cavalry, and look, the enemy are counter-attacking him with their cavalry, SPQR cavalry, and the Brutii cavalry as well. Okay, now remember, Earth's cavalry is fully upgraded, so they're going to put a heck of a fight up there, but look how they're being attacked by enemy troops. And here, also here you can see Earth is trying to fight through the enemy infantry to get to his cavalry by the looks of it to me. If you notice there, can you see the Scipii infantry really pushing down the hill here, trying to break through the enemy infantry there to try and get to help his cavalry out there. So as I say, a nice tactical move there by Earth, coming in from behind there, maybe taking up the enemy cavalry there, and this might be an advantage to our team. And you'll see what I mean by that. If you notice here, can you see we've got our cavalry locked and loaded on the higher ground. Now, while all the enemy cavalry are away, look, we got targets that we could make the most of by smashing in with our cavalry. As I say, look, most of the enemy cavalry are at the rear here, attacking Earth's cavalry. Okay, so with them attacking Earth's cavalry there, all their cavalry are away, so now their engaged infantry are, you know, kind of there for the smashing in with our cavalry, especially as we've got that downslope advantage there. You see what I mean? So now let's make the most of our cavalry here. You can see Uther, I think that's Uther's cavalry charging in there. Going to hit that enemy SPQR infantry and bang, as he smashes in there. Nice hit there by Uther there. That was a nice cavalry hit there, routed a lot of the units. Okay, sadly at this stage, all of Earth's fully upgraded cavalry has now been routed. Okay, so the enemy cavalry that were at the rear doing that damage can now return to the fray. As I say, you can see Earth's Scipii infantry attacking there. And as I say, you can see the Julii infantry and cavalry attacking, and you can see Spearman's cavalry locked and loaded. Now, whether he's going to charge into that SPQR infantry before the enemy cavalry can get back to help it, we just have to see. Okay, but you can see he's definitely locked and loaded, and you can see several of the enemy SPQR infantry units are starting to rout. Okay, now meanwhile in the centre here, you'll see that I've routed a lot of enemy Spartan units there. You can see a lot of them dead, but I've got SPQR units and Brutii units. I'm still fighting there in the centre, trying to take on as many units as I can in the centre here, maybe to help my allies out there. Right, you can see Spearman's cavalry going in there. Get ready for this, and bang as he smashes in there, and you can see the enemy counter-attacking with their own cavalry now. But that was a nice hit there by Spearman. I was expecting to see more enemy units rout there. In fact, I didn't see any rout there, but you can see Uther charging his cavalry over there as well. Look at all that cavalry going in there. You can see that Brutii cavalry charging as well. What a massive battle going in here. You've got cavalry and infantry all involved in this massive melee here on our right flank. Okay, let's pause the game for a second. So you've got all the Julii cavalry and infantry there on the flank. You've got our Scipii ally charging in there as well. You've got enemy Brutii and enemy SBQR troops all charging in there as well. Now make no mistake, this right flank battle here could prove absolutely decisive and pivotal to the outcome of the battle, as you can see. Whoever wins here will probably go on to win the battle. Meanwhile, in the centre here, you'll see I've routed most of the Spartan units and are now going to concentrate on those SBQR units in front of me. So I've been fighting Brutii units, Spartan units, and I'm now starting to fight SBQR units as well. Spearman is trying to bring some of his infantry and archers from that left flank. He may well go over onto that right flank there to try and help our allies win on that right flank, because I think that right flank is going to be absolutely pivotal to the outcome of this battle. As you can see, look at the armies that are charging, the troops that are fighting in there at the moment. You can see this is a real fierce part of the battle here, and you can tell that both teams know that this could be a decisive part of the battle because they're throwing everything in that they've got here. There, you can see that the SBQR infantry, the SBQR cavalry, the Brutii cavalry there. And then we've got our Scipii infantry there. Right, let's pause the game for a second. I thought there might be something interesting that you might like to see here. This is one of Lotus's cavalry units. Do you notice anything strange about it? Okay, well, he stood that cavalry unit in guard mode. Okay, so we charged his cavalry unit in, and he's not attacking anymore. He's just stood there in guard mode, fighting off enemy units that will be attacking him. Okay, so his cavalry units just in guard mode there. He's charged them in, just left them there standing in guard mode while they were fight off enemy troops that get near them. Okay, so just thought that was an interesting thing for you to have a look at there. Whenever you see a cavalry unit just stood still holding its spear like that, it's in guard mode there. So that's I thought that was an interesting part of that particular melee there for you to have a look at. You can see more enemy SBQR troops coming in there. You can see, looks to me like, I think is that Uther pulling his cavalry back? Yeah, he's going to lock and load them and probably look to charge them back in. But it's a real 50-50 on this right flank. Who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win here on the right flank? That's bad news for us. One of our generals has been taken out. There's that Brutii cavalry charging in there like a bang as that smashes in there. Oh my gosh, you can see there are more enemy cavalry come in. They locked and loaded and just charged straight back in again. Oh my gosh, I can see a lot of our allies, Julii troops, starting to rout here. Okay, so here, unfortunately for our team, you can see a heck of a lot of our Julii allies units are starting to rout now under the pressure from all that enemy infantry and cavalry pushing in on us. Earth Scipii infantry still fighting there, and a few Julii units. Here you can see Uther fighting Mantu's general. Over here you can see my Carthaginians fighting those SBQR units. And there's a couple of Spartan units attacking Spearman's units he's put in behind me to try and guard my rear as I'm pushing forward with my infantry into those SBQR units. Okay, now do you remember I talked about my sniper cavalry units there that I've kept at the back of the battle there? Okay, so they're fresh, just warmed up, fully intact. I'm going to smash into the rear of these archers to start off with because they've been causing us casualties all the way through the battle. They're in close, tight formation for more impact and more damage, so I'm going to hit them first and then smash into the back of those SBQR infantry after that. Meanwhile, Earth's archers here, as I say, he's positioning really well to shoot into the flank of enemy troops. And as I say, you can see Aurelius's cavalry general still doing lots of damage to our allies' archers there. He's used that unit extremely well there. And as I say, here you can see my cavalry going to smash into those archers there. Wouldn't surprise me if the enemy auto-attacked with those archers, which they've done there. They'd be running away otherwise, but you can see they're now pushing their way in there with their drawn swords. So as I say, with my cavalry here, They say they're not really well upgraded enough to fight enemy units head on, but they will snipe from behind there. Right, okay, so bad news for us. As you can see here, our allies have lost that battle on our right flank after a fierce fight. Okay, and the enemy are now moving over to get in behind my Carthaginians. Right, let's pause the game for a second. So I just charged in with my cavalry, routed a couple of those SBQR units. Okay, but now the victorious enemy troops are coming over and they're going to be above me. They're going to have the higher ground, so they're going to have that advantage there. So what I need to do, if I can, is if I spot that, is to up spears and try and run up to the high ground myself as fast as I can. But look, enemy cavalry have got right in behind us now. And as it stands at the moment, things not looking very good for our team here. So as I say, you can see that I've up spears now. Now what I need to do is try and run up onto higher ground, but I think I'm going to be too late. I can see all that enemy SBQR infantry coming across here. I can see all that enemy cavalry there as well. So as you can see, I'm trying to go up that hill, but I've decided now I'm going to take on the SBQR infantry. And you can see all the that SBQR infantry closing in on me now. So as you can see, I'm fighting kind of up the slope there against the enemy troops. But even though I'm fighting up here, I'm still trying to be aggressive with my Carthaginians. I'm still making inroads into that enemy SBQR infantry with my spearmen. But just look at the odds against my spearmen. You can see they've got him round the flank as well. A spearman here is putting good support in behind my units with his 2 Julii units there, trying to protect my rear. There's that Brutii cavalry going in there like a bang as that smashes in there. Oh my gosh, here comes my Carthaginian cavalry going into the back of the SBQR infantry like a bang, it smashes in there. So try to hammer an anvil attack there, but I just don't think that my cavalry is going to make many inroads into that well upgraded infantry. There's some more SBQR cavalry charging in behind us there. So as you can see here, I've got SBQR cavalry charging in from behind. We got SBQR infantry coming in from the top, SBQR infantry coming in from this flank, and of course we're being attacked from the front. You can see some of my units starting to rout already here. So I think as they say, the writing's on the wall here, and it looks like the enemy are really charging in there. Look at that cavalry smashing into me there, and that's the end of the battle, and really well played to the other team there. You can see, I think Spear's got a couple of cavalry units there. He's going to charge in there, and bang as he smashes in there. But I think he just admitted defeat. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So well done to the other team there. They played extremely well. Really well done to them. And I thought it was an interesting battle. But it's quite a spread out battle. But I think here on the right flank, where we saw earlier, this was the decisive part of the battle here. Just look at that massive pile of dead there, with all of our infantry, cavalry, and all the enemy infantry and cavalry involved in that. I mean, just look at the piles of dead here. You can see how intense this particular part of the battlefield was. And as I say, I think both teams knew this was going to be a decisive part of the battlefield here, and that's where they were throwing so many troops, so many units into that particular part of the battlefield. Here you can see some more fighting in that particular part of the area there, and here as well. More quite intense fighting there. And then we move over to this part of the battlefield here, where the enemy have won really well. They're well played to the enemy team there. You can see a lot of dead Spartans there. As I say, in a lot of battle videos we watch, you can always see the dead Spartans there. Their red cloaks really stick out on the battlefield there. So as I say, it's quite a reasonably spread out battlefield, but with some really intense parts of the fight in there, where you can see with the big piles of dead. You can see them all pressing in and finishing off my Carthaginians there. It wouldn't surprise me if JGP got some really good kills there finishing off all my Carthaginians. There's nowhere for my Carthaginians to run. They're just going to stand and die where they stand. So that's what's happened there. I think Earth's he's just got a couple of units left. Earth has, and let's say, I always think at this stage of the battle, once the battle's over, really, it's best just to really admit defeat and let's get into the lobby and let's get another battle hosted. That's what I think, anyway. They say we've got it on triple speed now, but let's say it's always best to at this stage of the battle, as I say, when the battle's over there, we've enjoyed the battle, win or lose, let's just admit defeat and let's get in the lobby and hopefully get a new battle going, and maybe in the next battle our team might win. So yeah, that's the way I look at it anyway. But as I say, now we're just chasing down the last couple of units of Earth's Scipii troops that are left there. That's that one archer unit's just been taken out. I think he got a cavalry unit left somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll come back in a minute and have a look at the kills. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I'd like to say really well done to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played really well there. And as you can see, it was a close defeat for us. So it was a great battle. Highest kills in the game goes to my Carthaginian army, 1,939. So I was very pleased with the way they fought. I mean, I was fighting Brutii infantry, Greek cities and SBQR. So well done to Brotherhood member Aurelius. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but still did well with Greek cities. So well done to Aurelius. Did well there, especially with his armoured cavalry general. Well done to JGP. As I say, I thought he would get some great kills as he was killing all my my routing sacred band units at the end there. Well done to Mantu, got some good kills there with his Brutii army. And well done to Lotus, I thought he played well and got some good kills with his army as well. So really well played, guys, and a well deserved victory for you. Really well played. Well done to Spearman, probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but he was supporting all over the battlefield. Well done to Earth, possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to there. But he did well on that right flank, tried to do that surprise attack with his cavalry on that right flank. And well done to Uther, possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to there. But once again, just to say, really well played to everybody in the game, and once again, well done to the other team. Battle statistics there of my Carthaginians there. Nothing really outstanding there, I don't think. I don't think they did great there, really. Cavalry okay, slingers okay, but nothing really outstanding there. So just to say, I hope you enjoyed this battle. Please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.